Hi everyone, it's Amanda Harris, exercise physiologist, here to give you a little tip on how to keep your back and your hips healthy and mobile now that you're working from home. I've recently had a couple of clients tell me that now that they are not getting up to go from office to office or from office to meeting room, or even just to get up to get a drink of water every so often, they're finding themselves kind of chained to their desk for long periods of time, which can make their back feel kind of stiff, their hips feel kind of tight. Some of them are even telling me that they've never had back pain before, and now they're starting to find a lot of back fatigue toward the end of the day. So I'd like to offer you some tips on how to get some movement back. Hopefully you could do this at least every couple of hours, getting up out of your desk chair and moving. But optimally, I would even say if you could do it once every hour, that would be ideal. Now, some of you may not want to get down on the floor like I am, and that's just fine. You can do most of these things on a bed as well. But all you'll need probably is the surface you're going to be lying on, and maybe a belt or a scarf for assistance if you have one handy. So the first thing to do is get out of that desk chair and down onto your surface, whether it's your bed or your mat. And then what we're going to do is have you lie down. I'm just going to move my pillow out of the way here and come down to my back. Now, a nice general hip stretch is to cross one leg over the other and just gently rotate the thigh bone outward. So rotating that thigh bone inward and outward, I can use my hand for assistance. If it feels good to me, I could even just let my hip muscles do the work. But that starts to restore a little bit of rotation at the hip when you've been sitting statically. Now, it's important to do both sides. I'm going to show you the side closest to the camera so you can see it, but please do both sides when you're practicing this at home. The next thing, if you have it available to you, would be to bring this bottom leg in towards your chest. Some of you may recognize this as a piriformis or lateral hip rotator stretch. And we're just trying to get some of these tight muscles here that have become stiff from sitting to open up and stretch a little bit. Now, if that causes you pain or it seems difficult to reach it, you can always leave the leg here and stop with just the rotation. If you feel like you'd love to bring the leg in, but you can't quite reach it with your hands, you can simply grab a belt for assistance. This is just one of my husband's belts. And I'm just going to wrap it around my thigh, and then I can more easily pull this leg to my chest. So whatever variation works best for you, we're just trying to give you a little bit more movement through the rotary muscles of the hip here. Now, another really lovely stretch to do to get the back and the hips to loosen up is to put both feet down on the floor and both arms out, maybe in an A-frame or wider. And then you're just going to simply, gently take the knees to one side. Now you might be able to see my outside hip here is coming off the surface, and that's just fine. I'm getting a little bit of rotation, but I'm trying to rotate more through my upper back than through my lower back. I'm leaving my feet on the floor here just so that I'm not putting a lot of torque on my spine. So after I breathe here for a moment, I might bring my legs back up and take them to the other side. So these, again, just gentle rotary movements to try to restore a little bit of motion in the back and in the hips. Now, if this feels good and you feel like you could do a little bit more, you could cross one leg over the other and then take the bottom leg in that direction, and you'll feel a little bit more stretch in the back here. So just be careful not to push it too far and make yourself hurt or strain. And of course, you can do this on the other side as well. So if we're going to do it for the right leg, I'm going to cross my left leg over my right and take both legs to the left. So that's a nice little variation as well if you feel like the first one, the two legs down, wasn't enough. Now, finally, my last little tip for getting the hips loosened up would be to give you a hip flexor stretch. Because as you probably know, when you've been sitting with your hips and knees at 90 degrees, you kind of feel stuck in that position. So we're going to see if we can straighten out those hip joints a little bit. You might need a little pillow here to put your down knee on, and then you're going to take the other leg forward. Feel free to hold on to a chair or a wall or something else to steady your balance here, because it's really not about balance. Once you're in this position, you're looking for about a 90-degree bend at the hip and the knee, and then you can kind of tense this down-sided bottom cheek, butt cheek here, to kind of feel more stretch in the front of the thigh and hip here. Once you feel that stretch, go ahead and relax the buttock and back out of it. So I really recommend this on-off stretching technique here where you go into the stretch, hold it just for a moment, and then relax and back out, especially for those muscles that tend to get a little stuck on because of postural tension like sitting. So this on-off type strategy works a little bit better, I find, than that classic like hang into the stretch for 30 seconds strategy works. Anyway, those are my tips for you for today. I'm hoping this helps you maintain nice, loose, comfortable hips and a comfortable back while you're working from home. And I'll come to you soon with another tip. And until then, have a great day. Take care, stay well, and keep moving.